Welcome back to Sunrise Idiwala. We're going over to Makwe. Makwe's got our first guest today. Makwe, go ahead.
Well, thank you, Mr. Mohammad Yakubu, who is a NEC member of the Arawa Consultative Forum, is here in our Abuja studios. You're welcome to Sunrise Daily.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
Good morning. Well, that was yesterday, beg your pardon, that was last week when we had an interview with the Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity. But the status has changed now. Over the weekend, we did hear that the President communicated with him. It made the news that the President called the Special Assistant, and he said it made his day. But what has been the thoughts of Arawa Consultative Forum on this matter of the President's absence? Yeah,
thank you, Maokwe. We have a spokesperson in the Arawa Consultative Forum. I'm going to give you my personal views or opinion on this issue. I think Mr. President has done what is right, what he should do constitutionally. He has done it properly. There's no need for all this burhaha. He has handed over power to the acting president properly, constitutionally, and the acting president is doing excellently well. I think at this point in time, all we need to do is appeal to Nigerians to show some understanding. I can understand Nigerians' impatience, considering where we are coming from. But at the same time, we should show some understanding in the circumstances the president finds himself. And if he had not handed over constitutionally, properly, then there would have been an issue. But he has done what he's supposed to do properly and constitutionally. And the acting president is doing his best. I think in furtherance to that, I will appeal to the acting president now in consultation with Mr. President. You can't have two presidents at the same time. In consultation with Mr. President, these board appointments, these INEC rec vacancies, they should fill them. All this brouhaha, all this noise you are hearing about the president's health and so on is as a result of the fact that those that helped in bringing this government to power, quite good number of them, about 85% of them, are still not properly appreciated. There's no doubt that there are challenges.
You don't think that this is coming out of genuine concerns over the president's state of health?
No, we can't be holier than the Pope. It's not the wish of the president to fall ill.
What has been holier than the Pope got to do with it?
Meaning that we should feel more concerned about the president's health than himself.
You don't think he should tell us, his state of health?
It is at his discretion to do that. It is not necessary because he has properly transmitted power. The acting president has the full complement of the office now. It's when that is not done, then we can start talking about all we are talking about now. But there's no need for that.
You think that the president's health is his personal business? You don't think it's the business of Nigerians?
It's, like I said, it's at his discretion to tell us his health status. If he decides not to, I think our worries should have been if there's a vacuum. But there's no vacuum. And I will continue to appeal to Nigerians to show some understanding so that he can have enough time to recuperate.
People are worried as to, how long can an acting president act for before, we say that maybe he should be president, for instance?
There are constitutional provisions for that. There's a timeline in the Constitution. Let's wait. When we get there, we'll cross the bridge.
There isn't any timeline.
There's no time limit in the Constitution of how, of when the acting president could, for how long he could act.
The Constitution seems to be silent on that.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I will have to look at the Constitution again. I think there's a time limit. And that notwithstanding, I think the issue has not arisen now. There is no doubt that there are some honest mistakes that have been made.
What are the mistakes?
The mistakes are that those managing the president's information, those around him need to do more. Like Femi was saying the last time he spoke, he said he saying what he's saying now from the information he got from those around him. I think from that statement, the president now called him and spoke to him. One would expect that the Femi has unfettered access to his principal. You know? So...
Well, you heard him. He said, I don't need to speak with the president because I believe that all of this are just shenanigans. He believes that the president is alive and well. He believes the words of the acting president.
But that was not the last. That was not the last thing he said.
Doesn't need to speak with the president to know his state of health. What's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with it. What I'm saying is that those around the president needs to do more to help the president. That's why they're around him. The president cannot be everywhere.
So what should have happened?
There's a gap in communication. There's a gap in communication, and the acting president is doing all he can to see that he holds fort. I don't think all this as a result of joblessness, because there's really no issue in the president's health.
Mr. Yakubu, I'm going to ask you, do you think the president should speak with Nigerians to allay fears, just to dismiss and, whatever fears it is that people have about his state of health?
I'm sorry, with all deep sense of responsibility and concern to Nigerians, there is no need for that. You can't have two presidents at the same time. We have an acting president who has the full complement of the office and is doing all he can. In fact, all those visits and talk with the president, I think it should be private. There should be no publicity attached to it.
The reason I say this, you know where Nigerians are coming from. You know our recent past and what happened during that period. A lot of people now are beginning to have distrust in terms of what precisely is happening. Yes, there's been a change in terms of how the president himself has handled this. He's handed over to the vice president. But then, there are questions as to the physical fitness of the president. Why is it taking so long? He went for 10 days, and this is about the third time he's traveling in the space of how long? What truly is the state of the president's health? Quite a number of people are curious because they do not want a situation whereby, the president is held hostage by people they perceive might be like a cabal around him.
I don't think we will get to that level. And don't forget that there's a difference between...
Shouldn't that reassurance, the fact that we might not get to that level, be coming from the president himself or the president's handlers?
There's enough reassurance. He has been talking to people. And the situation is quite different from where we are coming from.
But if you listen to the president's spokesperson, it would seem that most of the reassurance has been given is that Nigerians should just trust, should have faith. Should that be enough when we're talking about things that need physical proof?
Like I told you, we can't have two presidents at the same time. There's an acting president that has the full complement of the office and he's doing all he can. Why would you need to talk to President Buhari again?
What do you think the president can do to allay these fears, to remove whatever doubts anybody has about his state of health?
We are in a present state whereby whatever he tries to do or whatever he says, there will still be doubting Thomases. In fact, if he appears on the TV now, there are people who say, no, it's a cloned image of him.
Perhaps there will be those people. And there will always be those people who will never, ever believe. But then there are people who are genuinely concerned, about his state of health.
I agree with you. But after doing his best, there's nothing more he can do.
Do you think he's done his best in this circumstance?
Not he's done his best, he's doing his best. If you say he's done his best, that means there's nothing more he can offer. But he's doing his best, that means we still expect more.
If you acknowledge that there are mistakes that have been made, how can you then still say he's doing his best?
He's doing his best. The mistakes that have been made are from his handlers, not him himself.
So what should his handlers have done differently?
What they should have done differently is that there is no need for all this publicity, all these public calls, those who went to see him, making publicity out of it. No. There was no need for that.
Let's take a quick question from Gimba.
Yeah.